Indiana Jones. We're live. Yay! We're live again.
Yay.
Hey everyone. Welcome back to another 180 Shift podcast. I'm Ellie.
I'm Tara. Thank you for joining us today.
Yes, thank you so much. And before we get started, why don't you guys check out all of our social medias at 180 Shift. You'll find us pretty much everywhere. Yeah, we're pretty much on every single platform at this point. And then, of course, also our website, 180shift.org, to learn a little bit more about us and who we are, right? But yeah, so today we do not have a guest.
No.
But that's okay.
Yes.
Because
we're going to talk about different news articles and some stories that have been on people's radar.
yeah, there's been a lot of interesting updates this news cycle, so it's been crazy. There's been stuff like a governor aide being convicted, or not convicted, but charged
The
with
Venezuelan
being a Chinese spy, the Venezuelan
gangs,
gangs. We heard about that in Colorado. There's so
now
much
Chicago.
stuff.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff happening right now, so we're going to just talk about it. And of course, we have to talk about it with some boba. So, we shall do this part. Done.
Got it.
Yay!
I wonder if I should shake
Okay.
it. I saw somebody do that the other day. I was like, I should shake mine next time.
Just shake it.
And then I forgot. So, yeah. So should we start out with the Chinese governor spy or
Yeah.
assist? You might have to explain it to me.
Yeah. Okay. So, this was crazy because, I was scrolling through Instagram while talking with my friends, and then all of a sudden, you just hear me gasp and be like, what? And it was because I came across this article that said that a former aide to two governors, so two different terms of governors, was charged with being a agent of the Chinese government, right? Her name is Linda Sun, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is crazy. So I was telling my friends, I was like, wait, look at what I just found. This lady has been, working in our government for some time now. She has held several different positions, her latest one being with the current governor of New York. She was the deputy chief of staff, and on Tuesday morning, so I'm guessing today I think it was, that she was arrested alongside of her husband, Chris, in their $3.5 million home in Long Island.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, she's been charged, her husband's been charged with money laundering, conspiracy to commit bank fraud, misuse of means of identification. And it looks like what she was doing that may have tipped people off is that she was actually blocking representatives of Taiwanese government to having access to the governor's office. So blocking off communication there, and also shaping New York governmental messaging to align with the priorities of the Chinese government.
Wait. So can you kind of break that down another level?
Well, so for example, the Chinese, I guess, haven't had a best relationship with the Taiwanese government for various reasons, but she must have been blocking any communication since she was a deputy chief of staff, meaning she has a lot of control, right? A lot of leadership power, and blocking communication from the Taiwanese government to the New York governor's office, right? And she must have been shaping the New York governmental messaging. So it does say that she was communicating with the Chinese government, saying what they would like to say, doing that sort of thing.
Wait, what do you mean? Like what they would like to say in means of like being an American or being an influential American?
I would think it would be more like messaging. So like what the office is coming out in support of, what they're saying. So like saying nice things about the Chinese government or about China. There's several ways that you could do that.
It says here too that she was a part of the Chinese Communist Party.
Right, the CCP. Well, pretty much everybody in China is part of the CCP. You really don't have any other choice. But she...
Well, if you're in America, you have a choice.
You do have a choice, yeah. Now, so in return of all this stuff, she and her husband has received several benefits, including help for her husband's China-based business.
Oh, wow.
Having undisclosed tickets to performances by visiting Chinese orchestra, ballet groups, different things.
You sold out America for a ballet?
Yeah, well, you know what also? Her parents received a salted duck.
Is that really special?
It's a specific, I guess, sort of thing that they have.
You sold us
China
for a salted duck? Come on,
America's
worth more than a salted duck and a ballet.
You know what? They did launder a bunch of their financial proceeds. They used that to buy a condo in Hawaii for $1.9 million, luxury cars including a Ferrari. So, I love my Ferraris, okay? More in racing, but guys, you don't sell out the U.S. for a Ferrari.
Now, is this a video of her house being raided? Is that what this is?
I'm guessing this is what it is. Let's see.
There's the FBI.
They did go and search her house, so yeah.
I would table. That's so confusing.
Well, they have to get evidence, and if they need to put it somewhere, I'm sure they put it on the table.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah.
Wow.
So she's actually been working for the state government for 15 years. So
wow,
that's a long time.
15 years of information and influence.
And what's crazy is I was talking to my friends when I was telling them about this. They were like, "Wait, how does that even happen?
Yeah,
how does this happen?" And I was like, "Well, I don't know, but it does happen." And it's crazy to find out there's people who are just who do this stuff, right?
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. Well, she's been caught, though.
She has been. But you know what? There's always people who are currently in the government who are, just bad people. And I know that China particularly has been doing such a big push in the U.S. just for decades now. I mean, if you look at a lot of our movies, our shows, there's certain things, our messaging that are kinder to the Chinese culture, which is not necessarily bad, but I have definitely it does raise a ton of concerns.
Yeah,
because the government's doing it for a reason.
And this person on Twitter says, "These details are amazing and incredibly serious. She was actively running interference for the Chinese government from within the New York State Governor's office."
That's correct. Yep. Crazy. That is so true. And it just is a little worrying, of course. I remember I was talking to somebody who was saying, China has a big influence in the U.S. today. Mm-hmm. Especially in, like I was mentioning, the movies. They have such a big control of that, and it's just making us getting us used to what they're hopefully gonna be ushering in.
Yeah,
their plans. Look at that. Oh my goodness, is that a picture?
Yeah.
What are some people commenting on?
Oh, you know what? That's a good question. Let's go up here. So apparently, there's some.
Yeah, she did work in Cuomo's office.
So we have the comments up, and it says, "Good thing the libs don't vet anyone, otherwise the Democrats would be in trouble."
Oh my goodness. Okay.
You have a lot of splaining to do. Not a whole lot of comments, but you know what though? I think what I'm seeing is just a lot of reposting. Like, people are just sharing the story like crazy.
Yeah, it's a big thing for today.
Well, I know we had another thing that we were going to talk about. Do you
want me to talk about the...
Yeah, you jump into the next thing.
Okay. So, this is an interesting headline that I found I found while looking at the Los Angeles Times. I found that they're saying this is a prime weekend, so Labor Day weekend. We just went over that, or Labor weekend, whatever.
Labor Day,
right? we had that, and
We've
this
been
is
seeing
a big
masks again.
COVID.
Have you seen the masks?
I have been seeing masks for COVID spread in California, and the headline says why experts see a real risk ahead.
Oh my gosh.
So,
how do we take them seriously anymore?
I don't know. Well, it's saying, so some doctors, right, are saying that because of Labor Day holiday weekend, that their transmission could accelerate. So, and they're saying that that it could potentially prolong the summer wave, it's been known as, I guess. But I find
Which is crazy because it's so hot right now.
You know what? But I find this very interesting because I don't know if anybody's been worrying about COVID that much anymore. Like, obviously you still see some people with masks, but the majority of people aren't talking about COVID anymore.
Yeah, no, and I think it's a general thing that nobody really wants to get sick anyway. I mean, I just think of it as flu season, you know?
Right. Well,
like
we always have, flu seasons that come and go.
But this one attacks the lungs more, just like COVID.
It's true, yeah. It says Americans were expected to hit the road or take skies in potentially record-breaking numbers this year. And with COVID transmission elevated across most of the country, there's not a significant risk of exposure.
And I've felt it, though. I felt it. I got sick a few weeks ago, and I felt it really heavy in my lungs, which is COVID. I have asthma, so my lungs are already super sensitive.
What's very interesting, though? Children have gone back to school again, which means germs are spreading
and
a lot.
And another thing that causes flu season.
It's so true, yeah.
But, yeah, the thing is, though, I've noticed that when you tackle this thing with vitamins like, vitamin D or like superfoods and that kind of stuff, it makes it so much better. It makes it so easy to get rid of this thing,
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know why people freak out or I don't even understand masking up right now, because it's like, just take care of yourself. Fresh air is good for you,
Yeah, I mean, they're saying that a lot of people, of course, get COVID usually coming back from a trip, which is usually expected, right?
Yeah.
When you're traveling a lot, you come across different germs.
And aren't there all these other different strains of COVID now anyway, too?
Yes. Now, California has spent 12 weeks with high or very high coronavirus levels since June. And so I guess we're experiencing some more than usual ones.
A bunch of people at my church got it.
I feel like people are now moving into a thing where it's like almost like a new normal.
Yeah.
Right?
You know what's my new normal? Is when I get sick. When I get sick, I eat oregano oil. And it just like knocks it out of me.
Oregano
oil
is nasty to go.
It's only nasty if you're sick, and then it's painful, and then if you feel fine, you drink it or you eat it or whatever, and it's like totally fine. It doesn't even burn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
Well, what I like to do is drink ginger lemon tea, or is it the honey lemon tea? I don't know. It's like a mixture of those three, and I get this wonderful base. It's almost like this jelly, but it's from the Korean market. It's so good. You like scoop out some of the jelly, right?
Yeah.
You put it in your cup. You pour some hot water on it, and it's the most delicious thing ever. I love it.
It's like, does it have honey in it?
Mm-hmm.
Honey. Okay. See.
And it has ginger, which is a very good thing for you.
See how
It's
like
delicious.
homeopathic ways of healing yourself are not only helpful and healing, but they're delicious.
Yeah.
I mean, have you noticed that?
It's true. That's true.
Honey, lemon, that's how I treat COVID.
Yeah, but
I don't throw a mask on my face.
I have been seeing a lot of people wear.
Not even to prevent it.
You know what? I've been seeing a little bit more people wearing masks, but I'm not sure if it's because of the monkeypox thing. I just don't want to go into another COVID, shutdown, lockdown, whatever.
Do you really think America would fall for that again?
Maybe. I kind of think so.
Really? Right when the economy is like starting to actually like get moving again?
People, if the government was able to do it to us last time, they're going to do it to us again.
Ooh, I got some responses for the Venezuelan thing because I have a lot of family in Aurora. So I asked them.
Oh my goodness, let's switch over to that then.
Okay, let's jump over to that. So what I said to my family is, have you guys seen the gangs in Aurora? Because they all live around Aurora. Now, let's talk about what this is. I know you had a specific headline that explains exactly what's happening in Colorado right now.
Well, actually, I haven't done that much research on it, so don't credit me that much. But
well, there's definitely
there's stuff going on. So apparently there was like a gang who had been running an entire apartment complex, right, in Colorado, Aurora. And so it's by a Venezuelan gang. Now, currently, the tenants are not paying its members rent money. Okay, good. Okay, so the police has come out because there's a bunch of speculation that they have been taking over Colorado, basically, right?
Okay.
And there's a bunch of footage, going over them the police breaking into the apartment complex and, all that stuff. But the police have said that there's no taking over of gangs in Colorado, that this is not a thing. Yes.
Okay.
So let me see if there's any more information that I can
But then you have people saying it's also happening in like Chicago, so it's like this thing that's going on.
We have heard that too, that it is happening in Chicago.
What state is it, or what city is it going to get next, and what state?
There are confirmed gang members in Aurora, Colorado, which they're pretty much everywhere.
Yeah.
But there is, of course, that video that went viral of men carrying guns and entering apartments, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if we can find that video. I don't know if we have it. But it's fine if we don't. But what have your relatives said about this? Because I feel like people from there would be a best source of information.
Well, first off, I have this, which is South American gangs are beginning to take over more buildings in the United States. Prepare for this to get way worse. Whoa, blew into the mic there. Okay, so here's a video of more gangs, I guess, just squatting. Are they squatting and just kicking everyone out? It's kind of confusing. But up here we have an interesting one. What the heck? There's a racist comment there. Get me out of there. That U.S. seizes Venezuelan in a president's plane and flies it to Florida. What? Mm-hmm. Okay, anyway, so this is what my family said. No.
Just no.
And then they said, Aurora. Okay, someone sent me an article. My cousin, shout out Lil Doey, sent me an article that says, Aurora lawmakers insist without evidence Venezuelan gang responsible for apartment closure.
Right. Okay, so that's basically what we're hearing.
Immigrants from Venezuela remain at the center of persistent controversy in Aurora, with 4 city lawmakers on Thursday offering commentary and narratives about gang members, flash mobs, and national immigration policy. Lawmakers commented on the recent Venezuelan immigrant controversies as well. On July 28th, as many as 4,000 cars descended on the parking lots at the Gardens at Havana Shopping Center in west central Aurora, apparently to celebrate at what time looked like a political demise of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. Maduro since held on to power despite international demands. He stepped down after an apparent electional loss and election fraud perpetrated by his administration. Wow, none of us buy that story. This is based on a code enforcement violation. Councilmember Daniel Jurinsky said at the end of the committee meeting, referring to herself as a fellow committee member, council members, a couple of people, the 3 of us believe there is a huge gang problem.
Well, I'm sure, we all know that gangs are becoming a very big problem. Of course, I do want to reiterate, of course, people and immigrants are not the bad thing. The bad thing are the gangs that are coming over and who are causing so much crime into the U.S. And they're just wreaking a lot of havoc. Now, whether or not they were, I guess, controlling an entire apartment complex doesn't really matter. It's the fact that there are a bunch of gangs here who are murdering a bunch of people.
Yeah. No.
I mean, we're seeing so many people who are being murdered each day by several different illegal immigrants who are in gangs, and they're leaving bunches of families who are having people who are just dead. It's terrible.
No,
And
I
even
know. Yeah,
people
there is a
who
huge gang
are
problem. I think that's what
immigrants.
this article was
And
saying.
even people who are immigrants are being affected by gangs who are coming over. I mean, not only that, people are dying, but we also have like the drug problems going
Well,
up.
speaking of that, here it says city officials countered the claim, saying the complex is slated for closure next week after more than 2 years of neglect and mismanagement, creating a bevy of public safety and health violations that left the complex uninhabitable.
Yeah, that happens. That's terrible. Yeah, you see, that's not a good thing.
So they're saying that no, it wasn't a gang that randomly just came in. It was years of neglect from the apartment complex that made it uninhabitable and basically made it the way it was. And then my cousin also said, my friend and her dad are working in the migrant shelters. They also say it's not true.
Okay.
My aunt sends me another story that I can open up. The article I shared talks about this video that went viral, the one with the guns. And then my aunt said, but there have been home invasions in the past in Miami. It is not a new immigrant phenomenon. U.S. citizens do the same.
Okay.
The building was not taken over by gangs. It is condemned because of flagrant violations for years to the point that it is uninhabitable and that they were taking advantage of migrants, making them pay rent in an uninhabitable building. Wow. So speak out against Venezuelan gang rumors. Wow, okay. So they say, this article too says it is not true. Tuesday, tenants at Edge at Lowry Apartments held a press conference to dispute claims about gangs taking over the complex. Ever since the viral video showing Tren de Aragua breaking into apartments have been shared by people all over the world. They do not believe the gang is present at the conference. Many tenants tell Denver 7. They said the most significant problems they've dealt with are the uninhabitable conditions of the building they're living in. Mm-hmm. I'm scared to go out. They're accusing us all of the conflicts about being in gangs. And this is completely false, tenant Oscar Rojas says in Spanish. It is completely false. There are good people here, families. There's always going to be crime everywhere. Wow, so these rumors have affected the tenants who are living at that building.
Yeah.
Now, this is interesting. It looks like there's just been a lot of people.
Yeah, but regardless of not, whether or not the gang was, again, just literally controlling the apartment complex isn't the important thing. The important thing is that we are seeing a rise of gangs, okay, just gangs in general, who have been wreaking havoc all over the U.S.
Yeah,
right?
No, that's true.
And so I guess, if I don't know what was happening in Chicago, because I'm curious to hear if that one's true or not. But of course, it's just
now I understand why people are talking about this, because there is a huge immigration problem.
Right.
There's so many undocumented citizens, non-citizens running amongst actual citizens of America.
Right.
Which has made, it's really damaged the faith that a lot of people have in this problem. So I can see why they would hop onto this narrative.
I can see that, yeah.
But I think it's also good to be careful and wary of the stories that you pick and choose to case your point, because sometimes it is fake news. But no, you're totally right. There are gang problems. There kind of has always been. In LA, it's gotten better than it was in the 90s. But yeah, according to most people.
Oh wow, I didn't know that was happening in, I guess, Venezuela. I have to look that up.
Oh, I know. Yeah. So that's interesting
crazy.
that whole story even came up. But yeah, I don't know. That's just my cousin's opinion.
Mm-hmm.
It could be wrong. I don't know. I'm not really there.
Well, you know what?
I don't know why someone would lie about that.
The police has come out about it, so we'll just leave that to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, there is another thing that I did see. So there was a New York man. Again with New York.
New York.
Lots of stuff happening. I feel like it's always New York, Florida, and Florida man. You've always seen
Miami.
Those? Where they're, no, just in general, they say Florida man did this and that. If you search up your day and Florida man, you always get you get a assigned thing that happened that day. I think
Let's see it. Okay.
mine was a guy
You mean like your birthday?
Yeah, you search up your birthday and you say Florida man after it. Okay. Florida man. Yeah, there you go. And then you'll see something that happened on that day.
Oh, wait.
Do you have one? Oh, right down there on September 23rd. Look at that one.
Which one? The one about the
Florida
deadly
man
reptile?
tries to trade vehicle from he stole from what? From same dealership. What?
That's my kind of Florida
funny.
man. That's ridiculous.
Okay, now search up mine, which is January 20th. There was one that I think this guy, he was running away from the police and then went in the water to like try to get away.
Oh my gosh.
January 20th.
You ran into the water to get away. Isn't there like a movie
I think that was
like
mine.
that? Florida man.
Yeah, that one tries to attempt to hide
Florida
underwater
man.
from cops.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, there you go. That's
Look
the
at
guy.
him. She's like, got it up.
That's
He's
so
gone.
random.
That is so funny. Florida
Wait,
man
what did he
attempted
do?
to
Not so great escape,
yes,
guys.
oh my gosh. An action movie stunt. Wow,
Yeah.
that is really funny.
Yeah,
Oh my
that's
gosh.
crazy. Okay,
That is
yeah,
so funny.
that's a little bit of a tangent, but it'll make
No,
sense
I'm
in a
like,
moment.
That's what I'm gonna
Okay,
be doing later. Just
it'll
like,
make
Florida
sense in
man
a
on this
morning.
date. That
Okay,
date.
so a New York man. Okay, he was sentenced to 13 months in prison.
Yeah.
For sending about 12,000 threatening phone calls to several different Congress staffers. So and this is crazy. Okay, so ever since February 2022, he's made 12,000 calls to several different congressional lawmakers, and specifically 500 of them are aimed at one person.
Yeah.
So one lawmaker has received over 500 calls. One of them, one call that he made on October 21st, 2022, was he told a staffer, "I will kill you. I'm going to run you over. I will kill you with a bomb or a grenade." That's what he said.
That's lovely.
And it's quite lovely, indeed. And then, so yeah, there you go. Okay, so now, there's also a Virginia man who was charged in making a series of death threats on, it says, a conservative social media site against Vice President Kamala Harris, right?
Not
Cool, guys. And then there's another one. In July, a Florida man was charged with written threats to kill Trump and Vance. So, again, with the Florida man.
Yeah.
And this one, I think happens, like, I think he made his statements or his threats only like a week after the shooting.
Oh my gosh.
So
what's the moral of the story?
Moral of the story, okay, is this is a reminder for everyone. Do not make threats to people. If you don't like them, it's okay to not like somebody. Just don't make public threats to people, please. It is taken seriously and can end you up in jail.
It's not a great look.
It's not a great look at all. No. And this is something that is crazy because I remember there was this person who was threatening some people, and I don't know if it was a joke or not, but he was like, the police were like, that's not okay to like be threatening people, and he's like, wait, it's against the law to threaten people. Yes it is. It is against the law to threaten people.
That's my hobby. No.
So that's just, I have to tell you guys, just a reminder, whether or not you like somebody or not, it does not make it
okay to threaten them.
Yeah, exactly, to threaten them. And it even a joke can be made as a threat and can get you into serious trouble. I've seen that happen before, where people will make a joke, but it's taken seriously.
Yeah.
And you're now in trouble.
You can't, yeah. Just because you feel like you want to stab somebody doesn't mean you have to say that you want to stab somebody.
Guys. Go run. Just go run or go to the gym. Let out your anger. Okay?
Go to church.
Go to church is a wonderful way, okay? But yeah, no, totally. This is just one of the things that I was like, that's crazy. Why would you do that?
Isn't the debate coming up soon?
It is coming up next week, but I have to say, 12,000 calls. What are you doing with your life?
12,000 calls? That was the amount of threats to Kamala or to Trump?
No, it was to several different congressmen. What the heck? This guy's just like,
are they sure
going
they didn't
on there, just being like, okay, let me see who I want to threaten today.
Maybe he had like a little cult following and then they all did it together.
Well, it was just him by himself. He pleaded guilty too, which is
That's
good.
like the Riddler. It's like Riddler behavior.
It is like Riddler behavior. Well, one congressional staffer said he became angry, used vulgar and harassing language towards individuals who answered the phone. So any of the staffers. Poor staffers. They're like, I'm not the one making the laws. I'm just answering the phone for you, but okay. Thank you. Thank you so much for today. Honestly, this is insane. But I want to know. Hold on. Let me see this. Is there any more over there? Any interesting things you're finding on Twitter?
Of this one.
Oh, what's that?
It's totally quiet. That's what it
quiet.
is. It's
okay.
quiet.
It's sad.
Too bad. But it's Tulsi Gabbard and Kamala. And I can just watch from this image that Kamala's...
Oh, I was reading more on the guy who was threatening Kamala, actually. He actually posted 19 times about Kamala Harris, including threats to shoot, stab, or burn her alive.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
He's 66.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. The other guy who was actually making those threatening phone calls, he was only 35 years old.
Yeah.
People just ruining their lives, guys.
For no reason.
Yeah.
It's because you're angry.
Mm-hmm. Now, did you have anything else? Because I don't have
I'm just looking forward to the debate. You know, what do you think? Do you think that Kamala... How do you think that would go between Kamala and Trump? Just like off the top of your head.
Okay. It's going to be a fun debate to watch. I'm hoping. I think it's going to be fun. Like, knowing Kamala's personality and Trump's personality, they're two people who I really want to see get on a debate forum together.
Oh my goodness.
I'm excited.
It's a cherry on top of a crazy election season. Right?
Yeah.
No. Look at the faces Kamala makes when she debates. She's like she's like mad.
Well, she's got like, the upset face on there.
This B word saying what about me? Look at her face. She's like no. She did not just say that.
There's actually, hold on, I'm gonna try to find something. But did everyone see there was a woman who at Wells Fargo.
It's a Wells Fargo ad?
No. No. There was this Wells Fargo. There was a woman who was found dead.
Oh.
By employees.
Definitely.
Okay, 4 days after she was dead. At her desk.
Oh my gosh, I heard about that.
At her desk at Wells Fargo.
Yeah.
I want to know how that happens.
The smell, probably.
No. I want to know why she was left there for 4 days. Okay.
Well, they found her probably because they realized that they were smelling a dead body in the office, probably, right? Oh, disturbing. She was an older woman, right?
I think so, yeah. So she was 60. Yeah, so she is older.
Not that old, though.
No, she's not that old, but she's 60. So it was in Arizona, right? It was on August 16th. But she had died at her desk, and nobody figured out that she was dead, which is weird because it went from so
that's really awful.
That's just crazy. So then did they not like check if she checked like what is it? Checked out? What is it called?
You mean like timed out?
Yeah, timed out. There you go. I'm like, I don't do that, so but yeah, did they not check that she had not timed out? Is that another thing?
I don't know. That is so awful. That's just awful that happened.
That's insane. That's insane. Ooh, wait. There was another thing, actually, that I was looking at today. Okay, so this is another thing for you to search up if you'd like to find something on Twitter. So the U.S., this is one of the things that have been going around very lately. It's the U.S. Has charged several leaders, Hamas leaders,
oh yeah, I did see
for
this.
the attack on October 7th, right? Including the head leader. So I can't pronounce his first name, but it's Sinwar. That's his last name. So they've been charged with 7 different charges. There's a couple of them are murder of U.S. citizens, conspiracy to finance on terrorism, and use of weapons of mass destruction. But the thing is that 3 of them are already dead, so not sure how much you could get justice there. But the head leader, Sinwar, is currently hiding, or he's believed to be hiding somewhere underneath Gaza in the tunnels. But yeah, so they've been charged with that. And I don't know what the other ones were, but I know that a few of them are on there.
Look, this is New York.
This is crazy. Oh wait, is that New York?
That's New York. Just
Wow.
1 day after Hamas executed an American hostage in captivity, this is what New York City looks like, with thousands show support for Hamas. Americans, I beg you, vote wisely. Is this the America you want?
That is terrible. We just heard several. There's a few people who were just murdered, right?
Well, that's the thing. Like, even if you don't fully agree with like all the stuff that Israel does, like policy-wise, you know,
You
it's
shouldn't
like,
be supporting people who murdered U.S. citizens.
well, yeah, it's like, be careful who you're siding with. This organization is not for you. Like, they want to destroy you.
They've killed 40. Yeah, they've killed 42 other American citizens. Yeah, 42 people were killed who were American citizens on October 7th. That's insane. Now, I'm not sure how the U.S. is going to try and convict them of these crimes. Like, what are they going to be doing? You know?
Yeah.
Because they're not... 3 of them are already dead. So...
No, that's really
not
awful.
sure what they're going to do about that. But that's one of the biggest things that they've been talking about lately. Now, I have been to pro-Palestinian protests. You know, there's a lot of different people there. I've been there. It's a very interesting thing. I think all protests are very interesting. Okay, I've been to quite a few now.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to a pro-Israeli one. I've been to a Hamas one. And at the Hamas one, I remember there was this one guy who was creeping me out because he was carrying incense and just like swaying it around. I was like, what's going on?
Just trying to get the bad vibes to get
I
away
was
from
like,
them.
what's going on, guys? I'm like, why am I smelling incense right now? And I see this guy walking around with them. I'm like, that's such a weird thing to be doing, you know, at a protest. But then I also saw so many people graffitiing everywhere. So many people.
Yeah.
And I just find that so distasteful. Like, even if you want to make a point, you should not be putting graffiti everywhere as you go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's like more of
Right?
their point, though, right? Because they want to like show that, you know, colonialism is bad and destroy it.
Well, it's just terrible.
I feel like colonialism is kind of natural, though. You know, it's like what people do. Like,
Well,
it's what most people do,
what most
especially
people do.
when you get in like mass numbers of society. It just kind of happens naturally, you know.
That is true. I mean, people overtake others, but
Governments form naturally. Like, it's a completely natural occurrence.
yeah. But there was a lot of different people there. There was different speakers at that event that I went to, or the pro-Hamas protest. And I remember the one Jewish lady who was speaking. She had so much hatred and a lot of hate just for her own people, and I found that very interesting. I felt like
what was her reasoning?
I can't remember at the moment. I did record it, but
we can post it later. Yeah.
I just feel like she had to convince everyone that she hated her own people. So she had to try pretty extra hard.
Yeah.
With screaming and yelling and everything. But that is something that's still happening along with the war with Russia and Ukraine.
Well,
so.
Yeah. I don't have much to say about Israel right now, you know, just because, I don't know, their general policies there are not very, like, godly. But with Hamas, though, I see no reason to side with such an organization based in just, like, kind of terror and really just the Antichrist, you know. I mean, not the Antichrist, not the official Antichrist, but it's like for Christ, you know.
I can see why you can sympathize with them a little bit.
Which America is.
But the thing is, no, wait. You can't sympathize with Hamas. You can sympathize with the people who are currently in Gaza. The children who are dying.
Sympathize with them? Like the kids and like the Palestinian kids? Yeah, no, it's awful. It's awful. It's like, I just edited something where a woman who fought in one of the Israeli wars basically said she's friends with Palestinian people. She's friends with, like, you know, people who are from that Hamas area. She's friends with Israeli people. And she just wants them to stop fighting. She just wants the terror to stop.
Do you remember Hen, who was there on October 7th?
Yeah, exactly.
He was talking about that too.
Yeah, they don't want that nobody wants this to happen. And it's like, why are we supposed to side with one side or the other like it's a football game, you know? You can, like, be like, this is terrible from all aspects.
And I feel like even then, people will still call you a blah, 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 this and that. I've seen it in the comment sections on Instagram and all that stuff.
Well, and that's the thing, like, Israel is not necessarily an innocent nation either. Like, they've sided with terrorist organizations as well. I mean, they have. We can look it up.
I'm seeing my phone right now. My dad texted me clock out for that one thing. I love that. Yeah. I was struggling with that, guys. I was like, I don't know. What's it called? Okay. There is another thing that's happened. This has just been reported on pretty recently. I think this happened probably today, if not yesterday. There was 12 migrants who died in a boat that sunk in the English Channel. So they sunk just right off the coast, the French coast. There was 10 of those people were female. One of them was a pregnant woman, and 6 of them were children. 2 of them are men. Only 8 of those people in the boat were wearing life jackets. About 50 people were rescued, though, which is a good thing. Now there's 2 other people who are currently in critical condition. And these were migrants, right? So they were trying to flee from somewhere. I'm not sure quite where, because there's no actual reports of like where they were coming from. But I did see one source that said that it's possible that a Syrian smuggler might have been involved. Now, what happened with this accident was that the boat, experts have said that the boat like literally ripped, like it just went through the floor. And that is just insane that happened. And this is things that are happening with migrants. I think a lot of migrants, they put a lot of risk into traveling for whatever they're traveling for. Sometimes it's for a better life and for several different reasons, really. But we're seeing so many different people taking this risk and dying. Now, before of Tuesday's incident, so it did happen today, 30 people have already died crossing the channel in 2024, which is the highest figure for any year since 2021, when there was a record of 45 deaths recorded. So we're almost to 45. And it says right here, we're preventing 60% of small boat departures, but smugglers are cramming up to 70 people on vessels that are used to only carry 30 or 40 people, which are leading to these deadly shipwrecks, because these smugglers are just wanting to taking advantage of migrants. And I think this is happening everywhere, because this is happening in the UK, right?
Yeah.
This is also happening here, where we're seeing smugglers who are taking gangs who are taking advantage of migrants who are just looking for a better life, and literally trafficking them, taking advantage of them by putting their lives at risk so they're able to get the most, money.
Mm-hmm.
And we're seeing this everywhere. So it's not even just here. We're seeing this over there in the UK.
Jeez.
Now, there are people who are urging the UK and EU to agree on a treaty on immigration to curb small boat crossings, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, because this is a statement. The gangs behind this appalling and callous trade in human lives have been cramming more and more people on increasingly unseaworthy dinghies and sending them out into the channel even in very poor weather.
That's terrible.
Yes. Another was dismantling these dangerous and criminal smuggler gangs, and to strengthen border security is so vital and must proceed apace. Yeah, that's weird. That's crazy that this is happening everywhere. I honestly forget about what's happening in the UK sometimes.
Yeah,
I'll be honest.
Me too.
Because there's so much stuff happening with our own border that I don't even think about the people who are crossing the channel. And it says more than 21,000 people have crossed the channel this year already.
I don't know. I'm way more worried about America in general.
I mean, I am too. But the fact is, it's happening everywhere.
Yeah, we're just such a much greater risk over here, you know? Like, America is like the world's police officer. You know? Like, if America gets screwed up, like who's gonna be the one, like, the most powerful nation in the world?
You know what, I forget where this is from. Oh, yes. It was from Kennedy. He was talking about how the U.S. sets the standards for the world.
Yeah.
In Kennedy's speech, he was talking about how his families were, or his uncle, his father, both understood that America has a responsibility to set a standard and to upkeep that standard of democracy, right?
First and foremost, too, you know, one example is the Hollywood industry, media, you know. But yeah, go on.
You see going, I'm like, do some Bible. No, but yeah. So we do hold a big standard for a lot of different countries that look at us to see what we're doing. And I feel like they've been looking at us, especially with this last election, things that have been happening. And I kind of feel like they're looking at us as if we're a fool almost.
Well, look at how the media is portraying each other. Like, yeah, we look like fools right now because our own media sources are making us look like fools because there's a cold civil war happening, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I would say it's more like a cold... Yeah, it is definitely a cold civil war. I think people like to say we're not, but we kind of are, because if we just look at our whole entire, like, society...
Yeah, everyone has a political opinion now. There is no middle. You are one or the other. Or you at least have opinions that are very one-sided, you know, like everybody does. And you can see it anywhere you go, even in the most non-biased places.
Yeah, I was talking to people, and, you know, in our media, we could see it so much. And, of course, over the shows we watch, like, I know that The Acolyte got canceled.
What's The Acolyte?
You haven't heard about The Acolyte?
No, I don't keep up with this stuff.
Okay.
Anymore.
So The Acolyte is a Star Wars show that Disney produced.
Okay.
So, of course, Disney. I love Disney so much.
What'd they do? Oh, my goodness.
No, they introduced, like, a whole entire, like, lesbian couple who produced these Force babies.
Gay.
They were twins, which is totally not at all... well, it is.
Biologically accurate?
No. The Anakin was conceived. Okay, this is sorry. It's just being a Star Wars fan.
Okay, just go on.
Anakin was conceived by the Force, right?
Yeah.
He had no father.
So this lesbian couple conceived by the Force.
It was unique and essential to the plot because he was like it was almost like taking the Virgin Mary, right, and turning Jesus into, like, he's the
people
Messiah.
say that the Force does allude to the Holy Spirit.
Right, it does. Yeah. So it was kind of taking that inspiration from it. But Anakin was a special person.
So what's the difference with this new one?
That ruins how special it is and unique. The uniqueness of Anakin and how he was born with the Force, and it just ruins the entire thing.
Yeah, because
now if it's happening to, like, other people, like, how special was Anakin in reality?
And it wraps it around into an ideology sandwich.
That too. And I was talking to somebody, and he was like, man, you know, people go to the theaters and watch shows to get away from life. Once you step out of that, you know, once you step out of the theater, you're hit with reality. So why are you wanting to bring it to the screen?
Because they just want to indoctrinate people. They are, like, so obsessed with proving a point that they are going to surround everything around it.
My point is, The Acolyte is not going to be returning for a second season. Because it got canceled.
Good.
Because as it should.
Want this. Yeah, nobody wants this.
The thing is, people who I know who are not even, like, political and who really don't even care about the whole entire like lesbian thing, they were upset about the show because it was just terrible.
Yeah.
Like the actors don't even know anything about Star Wars. Like they're literally quoted saying some like crazy stuff that you're like, what did they just say? Did they even watch it?
They couldn't even make it good.
And then they were saying that that they would have been something like the gray side, or they would have been the dark side. I'm like, the dark side was evil for a reason. It's not cool. Okay, I'm sorry.
There is no gray area to sin. Okay.
Okay, there was a middle ground where it gave you the white saber. But that's because she wasn't. That was for Ahsoka when she wasn't on. She had not. Okay, that's just other.
See, I like
that's complicated. Anyways,
I know they lost me around though. You know the one after that lady. I got confused.
Which one?
The one with the lady. The lady. You know the lady Jedi.
Oh, Rey.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I don't like Rey either. Rey stinks. Okay, guys. I'm sorry, but she had zero character growth, and as somebody who loves to write. And who reads a bunch of books. I consume so many books, okay? And you learn to appreciate character development, like real people, you know, the struggle of learning. I mean, that's what Luke had to do. He had to struggle to become a Jedi. And we're seeing Rey just automatically be so awesome at her Jedi skills, guys. This is not true.
But point is, wokeism has entered the Force.
So you're just gonna see me rant about Star Wars and how the downfall after George Lucas signed away the rights
what a
to Disney.
No, but you see it when you go to the grocery store. You know, when you go to the grocery store and you see someone with a mask on, or worse, 2 masks on, and then you just immediately know, like, oh, I know who you're gonna vote for.
Mm-hmm. It's just crazy, guys. Okay, I love Star Wars so much that I can go on and talk about how terrible Disney has treated Star Wars. The only shows that I really liked were Star Wars Clone Wars, Star Wars Rebels, Mandalorian was really good.
You should make a Star Wars podcast.
Ahsoka was okay, but
I haven't seen any of these. You have to like explain every single plot to me because I haven't seen any of them.
We're going to take this offline, but yes, I will do that.
Okay.
Yeah, guys, you know what?
No, yeah.
I think Star Wars is they're so greedy for money.
You know, the same thing I could say this happened with The Simpsons.
Disney is so greedy for money right now.
Oh, and they're also greedy to be the best. They want to be the best streaming service, but they're never going to be better than Netflix.
Nobody likes it.
Netflix's business model, first of all, Netflix was there first, okay? And Disney is not only late to the party, but like that's not how their business like system really was set up, you know? Mm-hmm. So if you look at like their stock, I don't know, it shows. Yeah. I could find evidence. I read an article about it.
Wait, hold on. I just saw this.
I know some people in the industry who are suffering because of this whole thing. 10-year-old boy accused of killing
82-year-old ex-mayor of Louisiana town. What is this, guys? I'm just like, you know, I'm sorry. What is going on, guys?
You're getting sucked into the news cycle. You gotta look for good news, too.
No. I only look for all this stuff. Like, you can see me on Long Crime Daily. Just watching all the stuff that's coming out.
Yeah. So, what are we gonna do for
I've got to look into this later, guys. This is crazy. How is it that a 10-year-old boy is killing? Like, was this a misuse of gun? Like, were they not storing the gun correctly? This is your reminder to learn how to properly use a gun and store it. It's important to take safety classes, guys. Do not let a child come in contact with a gun.
Yeah, that is so important.
This is your reminder. I'm just reminding you right now, okay?
And don't... Yeah, oh my gosh, this is so funny. Stay-at-home girlfriends are having a moment.
Oh,
social media offers Gen Z take on life outside the workforce with minimal housework and maximal self-care.
What?
It's just like Gen Z women, it seems like they like the whole trad wife thing.
Right. I can see that, yeah.
Except they don't want to get married.
They don't want to get married. They don't want commitments.
No commitments, just... Well, then what's going to happen is they're going to get old and then
There's gonna be
they're suddenly gonna be dumped.
They are gonna be dumped for a younger, hotter version of them. That's what's gonna happen, guys.
Because that was the whole point. This is impermanent. We're just here to have fun.
The reason why marriage was pretty much invented was the security that it allows for the couple, right? And primarily for the women.
The children.
As well, that too. The children, yes, but also for the women as well. Because the women, of course, men...
If you don't want to work...
But also men will just dump you for the younger version of you.
Yeah.
And that's what happens.
Okay, I saw this really funny video. I wish I had it right now. It's like these church guys, like, practicing pickup lines on church girls, and one of them was, girl, you're a Proverbs 31 woman. Or, right?
Yeah.
What is it? Is it Proverbs 31?
Yes, Proverbs 31.
Yeah, you're a Proverbs 31 woman. And all the guys were like, yo! It's so ridiculous.
I see them all the time. I see these all the time about church, like, memes and stuff like that. But I love them so much.
My God. Yeah. Okay.
Did you have a story about it?
Well, no, I had a question.
Okay.
What is a modern Proverbs 31 woman?
Oh, a modern Proverbs 31 woman. I mean, I feel
have my take on it.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
You know what? That's something I haven't thought about. I mean, I think Proverbs 31 woman is not necessarily meant to be just... I mean, it's almost like a timeless thing. I don't know if you can necessarily make it really modern. Like, it was a woman who... She still works.
Yeah.
She still takes care of things. But she rises early, right? She has a great relationship with God. She's kind, gentle. She's caring and loving. I mean, I don't know how you make it modern. How do you make it modern?
Well, okay, I'll just read it. A wife of noble character, this is NLT, who can find a virtuous and capable wife? She is more precious than rubies. Her husband can trust her, and she will greatly enrich his life. She brings him good, not harm, all the days of her life. Okay, right there. Good, not harm.
Mm-hmm.
That's, okay. This is like... There's like a jealousy wave, you know? And I see it in like, especially young, like, married couples, you know?
Okay.
Like 20s, I'd say, is kind of what I notice it in. Not on just social media. And then, I mean, I've seen it amongst my, like, different friend groups. And it's like, even if they have kids, they're like, you know, overly, like, it's like, oh, you know, what, did you look at that girl passing by, or did you this, did you that, you know? And it's like attacks men for kind of like being men, you know? Now, I'm not saying that lust is good at all in any sake. Like, looking lustfully at a woman is not,
I mean, like,
okay.
I feel like jealousy has been around for both people for a very long time.
Well, but a woman like obsessing over it and getting like crazy over it,
being very anxious over it,
or like starting fights over it. I don't know. It's just like, it's so
you know
unhelpful.
what I would say is just women be secure and being confident.
Yeah.
Know what you have. Know what your value is. Because
exactly.
if he's just gonna, you know, want to have like some cheap girl, like, then why would you want him anyways?
Exactly.
To be honest, like, if you are a godly woman, you're so wise, you're caring, and you're compassionate. Like, what? Like, if you...
Don't waste your time. You can do so much better. No, exactly. And that's the thing. Like, if the man considers his life not to be good, then he will probably like actually go astray. And then it's like, well, that's on him. And the woman, you know, now this is the hard part. And if you're like married, it's harder because it's like you're kind of you're
tied
committed.
Together.
Yeah, you're committed. So it's like, but that's why you have to be careful. Like, don't chase the guy that doesn't want you. He's not interested in you because that's not the one that God has planned for you.
Of course,
you know?
men should be chasing you first.
Exactly. So let's see, what else do we have? That was only the first
especially
paragraph.
in today's world where I'm seeing several men who are saying, oh yeah, I would be totally fine if a girl like made the first move. No, you wouldn't.
Yeah, no, that's not.
That's not how a relationship probably isn't going to work. Maybe it might.
It's unnatural though.
But it's not naturally how it's supposed to be. And God ordained it for like the man is supposed to be chasing the girl
and the girl is supposed to be chasing the children.
I'm
telling you, dude.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, like that like, you know, you chase the kids, you kind of are just like constantly building that relationship for them, and then unknowingly the man will just be like I think men are observers, and I think when women become observers to men, it's like men don't really want to be observed like that, but women like naturally do. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Nothing makes me cringe more than a wife who's like always in her guy's face, and just like, you did this, you made me feel bad, like you looked at this and
I
that
know that
picture,
there's
this,
that one verse that's like where women, I was laughing about this with one of my friends. It was like
the nag,
the verse that you'd be better off on like the corner of the roof than being with a nagging
nag. It's true though, and it's because nothing is more damaging to a relationship, especially a young relationship, when a woman doesn't see her worth, doesn't go on her path, and just decides to turn or either fix the man or chase the man or get the man to approve of her. But it's like, if he's not interested, that's because God does not want this man in your life,
That's true.
Whoever it may be.
Definitely just be confident in who you are, because some man will come along and actually appreciate that.
Exactly. And the second paragraph says, she finds wool and flax and busily spins it. See, that's not modern. I mean, unless you're a knitter.
No, but I feel like it still translates to what you're doing.
Keep
your
busy.
Hobbies, your work.
Your hobbies and your work, exactly. Even if it's an art class. If you're especially like a trad, trad wife specifically, go join
I feel like also for
art class, a
for
pottery
people
class.
who get into a relationship, they forget that they're their own person and that they need their own hobbies and do stuff.
Exactly, yeah.
Go live your own life.
It's like, no, it's okay for you
together,
guys.
but like
exactly,
go do your own stuff.
Absolutely normal and okay for you guys to have different hobbies and to go do those hobbies. And you don't have to like each other's hobbies. Like, she is like a merchant ship bringing her food from afar. She gets up before dawn to prepare breakfast for her household and plans the day's work for her servant girls. So it's like she's a mother. She's getting up before everyone else. She's kind of like the home of the household.
Well, she's making sure that everybody's fed and all that stuff, which I get, today it can be a little hard, especially with two parents mostly, doing stuff. But I think that also proves like, being able to plan things and
also caring, like I think there's something to be so high thought of a woman who can take ingredients and turn it into a meal, because that is a form of providing. Like, let's say you're not making. Most women I know make money because you can make money on the internet now.
Yeah, you can. Which is wonderful.
I know, right? Yeah. So that was like the only thing of the pandemic that I liked, is it was normalized to work at home. But it's not only that, but it's like she like entertains or like gives jobs and gives character to the children, or in this case it says the servant girls, but I immediately think children. She puts the kids to work. She's like building their character. She goes to inspect a field and buys it. With her earnings, she plants a vineyard. So she's smart. She's like she invests in stuff. She has goals.
But also she also mentions her own earnings, which means she is making money.
She is making money somehow. Maybe she's, selling the wool and the flax that she's exactly. It's like something you can do at home.
Which is something that I've also noticed. Some people that are not Christians will say, well, like, women are only supposed to be meant at home, and it's always degrading.
Not according to Proverbs 31.
It really shows that women are their own very strong people in their own way.
Yeah. Now, the next one I really love, and I try to live by this. I've tried to follow this in my life. She is energetic and strong, a hard worker. So she is. She almost like finds her servitude in the Lord, She makes sure her dealings are profitable. So she's smart. She knows her value. She knows her worth.
She knows how to work money.
Do you notice how nothing so far has said that she like corrects her husband, teaches her husband? So why do modern women think that they need to teach their husband? Like, if you teach your husband by like, okay, like I feel like I've taught my husband a few lessons just about life, but I have been so gentle with my approach. I've been like, you want to go to church with me? No, week after week. No. And I just go, okay, I just stopped bringing it up, And then eventually he got bored, just being at home alone, like not going to church. So I'll go with you. Suddenly he's going to church with me, So there's ways that you can teach, your husband in that way, where you're patient and kind and, not at all like, her lamp burns late into the night. I think that just means that she's like smart, right? With her hands. Yeah,
continue on.
Her hands are busy spinning thread, her fingers twisting fiber. She extends a helping hand to the poor and opens her arms to the needy.
Wonderful.
Yeah. She's generous,
charity
kind,
work, volunteering,
charitable.
Mm-hmm.
She has no fear of winter for her household, for everyone has warm clothes. So she thinks ahead. She's a provider.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, frankly, just as much of a provider as a man is, you know? And that's why it's also disappointing to see a lot of modern women, you know, when the relationship doesn't work out or they get out of it really fast and there's a child involved, it's like, you're taking away so much from that child. Is it really I mean, I understand some circumstances it's not doable. You cannot stay with that person.
Yeah.
But a lot of the times it is like, you know, it's not going to be like an absolute win. You will have to take losses and make sacrifices in your relationship. But if you have a child with someone, that child is worth those sacrifices. But again, you know, I know that some people are like, it was life or death for me, you know?
Yeah.
So
there's each scenario has their own thing.
She makes her own bedspread. She dresses in fine linen and purple gowns. Her husband is well known at the city gates where he sits with other civic leaders. She makes belted linen garments and sashes to sell to merchants. She is clothed with strength and dignity. She laughs without fear of the future. When she speaks, her words are wise, and she gives instructions with kindness. She carefully watches everything in her household and suffers nothing from laziness. I love that. That reminds me of my grandma. My grandma suffered nothing from laziness, dude. She was like up at 6 a.m. every day, cleaning all the time. Her children stand and bless her. Her husband praises her. That's what you want. See, that's the first time they mention the husband.
Yeah.
The husband praises her. That, like, if the husband is not doing that, that's terrible. Ideally, you want to get into a relationship where the man just automatically praises you, you know? But if you're not in that relationship, you know, maybe you're more like a situation that I had where I didn't, you know, I was like unequally yoked with my husband, although I wasn't even a Christian when I first met him. So, but
well, you know what? The one thing that I really love about this verse, can I see it real quick?
Yeah.
Is the one where she says, she's clothed with strength and dignity and she laughs without fear of the future.
Yes, I
One of
love
the best
that.
ones.
Well, because she's a provider and she's strong, you know? She knows how to multiply her blessings.
Well, and also that she's also not fearful because she has her trust in the Lord.
Yeah, exactly. She has her faith and trust in the Lord. It's such a powerful moment. The other day I was cleaning. I like to clean my couch sometimes with like this shampoo vacuum because I have toddlers and a dog. So my couch gets very dirty. So I like to clean it and do the deep clean on it. And I got like kind of a flashback to taking care of my grandma. Now, taking care of my grandma, she had Alzheimer's, was really hard sometimes. Yeah. And I had 2 toddlers in the house. And there were times when I was by myself in that house, 2 toddlers, and my 95, I think, year old grandmother has Alzheimer's and makes a mistake with, like, trying to go to the bathroom. And there's just a horrible mess. You know, I mean, it was really bad. And I mean, I was basically getting like nurse training. And who's there to clean it up? Me, you know? So I would like get the kids set up to watch TV or something, and I would just go and roll up my sleeves, clean it up, clean myself up, clean her up, take care of her, like tell her that everything's going to be okay because she has horrible Alzheimer's, right? And she, by the way, she's like almost a foot taller than me. So it was, but I remember moments in that experience where I was like, I know I can feel God watching me. And through the serving, like through the service that I was providing, I felt closer to God than I have ever felt in my life. Being a complete selfless servant in those moments. And I've noticed that since my grandma has passed away, she passed away in November, I've had less of those really close relationship with God. That suffering that you feel when you're really serving God. But then there's like this peace, you know, that follows it, that kind of goes along with it.
Yeah.
And so I was cleaning the couch the other day, and I was working so hard to clean this couch. I took the whole thing apart. And my kids are kind of there, and this is after a work week. This is how I'm spending my Sunday. And I felt that suffering, and I was like, oh, and then I went, wait, no, this is my opportunity to get really close with the Lord. And then I just said, okay, God, I'm working. These hands are working for you. And it was like I automatically felt peace.
Mm-hmm.
And suddenly I was really proud of what I was doing. And just to wrap up the Proverbs 31 thing, there are many virtuous and capable women in the world, but you surpass them all. Charm is deceptive and beauty does not last, but a woman who fears the Lord will be greatly praised. Reward her for all she has done. Let her deeds publicly declare her praise. And that's the other thing too. Beauty does not last.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you are worried about that chick that, you know, the husband checks out, it's like that beauty's not going to last on that girl either.
No, it ain't.
You better hope that she has a good personality, which most of the time women who just beg for attention like that don't, unfortunately.
Yeah, and you know what? If the guy cannot appreciate a woman like that, then just
walk away.
He's terrible.
Run away.
Run away.
Run away. I'm not kidding, because there is a guy out there that you... Okay, like, for a girl who struggles with this, and I'll just put it like how I had my story, you know, I had no idea the wonderful husband that God had for me out there. Mm-hmm. Like, literally almost check... I mean, to where we are now, it's like he checks like every single box of my ideal husband. And I don't have to chase him. I don't have to sit there and be his like therapist or his mom. Like, he is an independent guy, but you know, because I've handled my marriage in the way that I have for the past 2 years, it's like I have hobbies, I have things that I do. Mm-hmm. I don't do that. You know, I just don't do that. Yeah. There's no point in that. It's just destructive, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think, you know what? I think guys do not appreciate a woman like that too much.
Do not appreciate a woman who nags?
No, like a woman like that. Oh, I think I've seen so many immature modern men that do that, you know?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. Which, you're right. I mean, kind of goes along with the...
But they'll learn.
Our society here is not good.
If they don't get it... No, it's like our interview with Echo Mike. Yeah. There are 18-year-old men and 30-year-old boys.
So true. It's so true. That's really true. That's a really good episode, y'all.
Billions of people.
I actually tell you guys and I encourage you guys to go watch that episode. Yeah. Because Echo Mike is really good. I got a lot of compliments from that.
Yeah, we should post more of those like 3-minute shorts of that, so we can spread that message more.
It was a really good interview with seeing his opinion
and out of the mouth of a Gen Z male, which was like perfect, you know, because I mean, we can talk all we want, but it's like we are speaking from the perspective of a female. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. You need that perspective from another man who says like, no, this is possible. There are many men out there that actually like this, actually respect women and take care of them and cherish them. Mm-hmm. You know, we're not all just like F boys. Anyway, sorry. You're like, no. But like, we also have an interview coming out. I did one with Josiah. I feel like I'm the editor on that one. Yes, yeah. I feel like I'm like gonna mess up his last name, but he's a great guy who's a priest in the Orthodox Church. But I got an amazing interview with this guy, amazing interview. And I really I'm honestly hyped for it.
Yeah. I mean, you've heard some of it already, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
And it's just amazing when he talks about like our generation and when it comes to romantic relationships as well. And, you know, a few things he does mention a few things about our generation and them lacking faith. And actually from that interview, it prompted him to make a video on his own social media channel because of, and he mentions me.
I saw that. I literally saw that. That was so cool.
I was like, that's really cool. So he was talking more about his opinion on what the issue is for Gen Z, and it was just a really, really cool interview.
Well, also probably for him, it's rare to see an actual like Gen Z female.
And I think he did mention
more like the Proverbs 31 person. You know.
Yeah. What does that say?
Oh, my aunt said...
She said some more stuff for us.
So my aunt's a lawyer, and she's a guardian ad litem lawyer, I think, so she has some insight. This is about the Venezuelan gangs. There are many gangs in the metro area of Denver, and they come from many backgrounds. When I worked at social services, we were shown a map of all the gangs and their various locations. Years ago, gangs confined themselves to specific geographical locations, but that went to the wayside years ago. For example, one gang member might live in South Denver, and his other fellow gang members might live in northern part of Denver. Strange but true, social media has allowed some of this flexibility. Interesting. I'd be interested to hear her more.
Yeah.
Talk about that. Someone else said, I am in contact with many Venezuelan young men and some families. The Venezuelan men are hard workers despite their lack of skills.
Mm-hmm.
The families have been welcomed at the Annunciation. Oh, sorry, that's a church.
Yeah. No, they have, they're very, very hard workers. But yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
That was
Anyway,
an interesting thing. But
it
yeah.
was the stuff we were seeing on it was pretty freaky, though.
Mm-hmm.
Is
Yeah.
that far off from the truth that, foreign gangs could be taking over different cities in America?
I mean,
Like,
we've
pray
down
that that's
down
not,
by the border. I think that a lot of people have been saying stuff like that.
Yeah, down by the border.
You've seen a lot of activity by gangs, but
Yeah.
down by the border.
It's like a Texas song.
But yeah, but I'm excited for some of the interviews that are coming out, guys. I would love to have another male perspective to talk about more about this.
Me too.
I'm definitely working. So for all of y'all, I'm definitely working for some more young couples to come on. There was this one in particular who I think they're in their 19, I think
19.
something
is
around that
young.
age.
But
But
they're married.
yeah, they're married, got a child. Husband's in
Got a
the
child from
military.
Target. No, I'm just kidding.
No, military. Husband's in the
That
military.
makes sense. A lot of
She's a
military families,
realtor. And they have a wonderful story. I think they right now are living in Montana, if I'm not mistaken.
So they're Zoom. Gonna be on Zoom.
They're gonna be on Zoom. So guys, look forward for that because that is going to be one of our next interviews.
Absolutely.
I think it's happening soon in the next few weeks. So I am actually super excited to get this young couple's perspective on why they're doing something so different than what we're seeing in our generation.
Yeah.
And it was so funny because I guess not so funny, but I was looking at a post, and underneath it, there is this 27-year-old that's saying, "Oh my goodness, marriage already? Marriage still scares me, and I'm 27."
Yeah.
or
so
25.
I've seen so much of that. Yeah. Or
and-
like you have like a 18 or 19-year-old holding up a baby, and then you
Mhm.
have like someone who's like 30 holding up their cat.
right.
Well, like
There's
that's
nothing wrong with cats.
No, I know.
But,
It's just like the difference. There's like
There
a real
is-
separation in like the birth rate of a certain age group.
We also see, a bunch of memes of people who are like, my grandparents at this age, my parents at this age, me.
Well, like I saw that Candace Owens video where she's like saying that her grandparents never cheated on each other because they didn't have social media. Like Candace Owens saying that.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Well,
would get
social media-
media more if like both my grandparents on both sides got cheated on.
Well, you know what?
So it's like they didn't have
Social
social
media-
media. I don't even know what their problem
The
was.
thing is like social media allows for more cheating in a different way. I feel like, and this is what I've said to all of my
it's like
friends.
lust, and that
Snapchat-
visual adultery.
Snapchat is a red flag. I've said this all the time. I've said it all the time. I mean, not only are we seeing all the
Why do you want your
fentanyl
messages to
deaths
disappear?
coming from Snapchat,
Yeah. The fentanyl deaths, yeah.
not only that, it's like contributing to everything.
Well, it's just people buying drugs and then
Mhm.
getting laced.
right. Well, they're getting laced, but anyways, most of them come from Snapchat. Okay, Snapchat sucks. Okay,
It's funny
One of my
too-
friends got Snapchat for no reason, and we were like, "Why did you get Snapchat?" He's like, "I don't know. Well, everybody has Snapchat," and I was like, "No, that's a red flag." And he was like, "Oh, really?" And then he immediately deleted it from her.
It's so funny. It's funny too because Snapchat has a legal agreement that you like have to sign when you get on, and it says any illegal information that you send through this app
Mhm.
is recorded and can be used against you. So it's like
Wow.
it's crazy, yeah, and that qualifies a lot of stuff. I'm just like
Yeah.
I can't even imagine the files of illegal activity they have on Snapchat,
Mhm.
which is terrible.
Yeah.
I don't have Snapchat anymore. I used to when I was like
I've never had Snapchat.
younger.
You know what? I am proud to say. Well, I don't know if proud's the correct word, but I am so glad to say I've never had Snapchat, never had TikTok. I don't even have Threads. Why did they invent Threads?
Because they're jealous of Twitter.
Yeah, I don't have Threads, guys. Never will.
No. Oh my goodness, it's almost 9 o'clock.
I know. Oh my goodness, is it really?
Yes, it is.
Oh, we've been talking forever. I'm a
Yes,
big
we have.
yapper.
No, me too. Dude, me too. And we thank you. If you tuned in
Yapper.
tonight, we didn't have a guest. It was different, but we thank you for tuning in.
Yeah.
I'm wrapping up already.
Yeah. No, yeah, thank you guys for joining us once again. Definitely check out all of our social medias at 180 Shift, as well as our website.
180shift.org.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it so much. Yeah, okay. Catch you next time when we actually have a guest. I don't know if we have a guest next week. We have the debate next week.
Yeah, debate.
So, I guess
Signing off.
we'll watch that.